Well, hi there, and welcome to a month here at Self-Help FAQ. You know, July begins with, it kicks off with flags and fireworks as we celebrate our nation's freedom. But what about your freedom? What does personal independence mean to you? What does it really mean? And are you actually living it? So this month at Self-Help FAQ, we're exploring what it means to be truly independent, not just from others, but in how we think, decide, and live. You'll learn how to cultivate, celebrate, and protect the real you inside. So let's dive in. Let's talk about how independence begins and how it evolves in life. Most people think that we become independent at around age 18 when we move out and we start making our own decisions. But even then, many of us still think about what our parents would say or approve of. Can you think of a time when you hesitated on a decision, not because it was wrong, but because someone in your life wouldn't approve? There are several stages in life when this happens. Let's take a look at the chart that I made. Okay, so we're looking at the stages of independence through life that we wanted to discuss. So the first stage is what we call late teens, early 20s. And it's when you're forming your identity and you get freedom from parents. Common struggles that happen during this time are guilt, obligation, and fear of disappointing the family. When you get to your 30s and 40s, it's more about relationship balance and career direction. But your common struggles are losing yourself in caregiving, chasing approval, and codependency. Now, after a breakup or divorce, your independence means redefining your identity, making some routines for yourself, and having dreams for your future. You have to recommit to new dreams, probably. But your common struggles are fear of being alone, grief, and rebuilding self-worth. In midlife and beyond, you get peace in solitude and clarity of purpose, but your common struggles are regret, starting over, and redefining independence as power. So realize that independence isn't something that you get at 18 and then you're done. It's something you have to renew at every point, every turning point. You need renewal in your independence. So where do we lose independence? We lose it in family guilt, in relationships where we shrink to stay, in fear of loneliness, and in confusion about our values. Sometimes we don't even realize we've handed our power away until we try to make a choice and we realize we're waiting for someone else's approval. You know, some people think independence means being alone and never needing anybody, but that's not it. It means building a life that aligns with your own values, not someone else's script. It's having inner peace to choose what's right for you, no matter who's watching. And there was a Greek Stoic philosopher who once said, "No one is free who is not master of himself." And that's Epictetus, if I got the pronunciation right. Epictetus. There's another Stoic piece of wisdom that I'll try to paraphrase here. We don't control other people, but we do control what we choose, how we show up, and how we respond. And, independence is inner peace and doesn't depend on who stays, who leaves, and what people think. Okay, so how do we start taking back our own personal independence? Well, I've got 3, you might say 4 simple habits for you here. First, you need to start small, define your own values, preferences, and routines. For example, maybe you realize that one of your values is simplicity, and you don't enjoy overly scheduled weekends. So instead of saying yes to every invitation, you start blocking off one full day each weekend as quiet time, even if others thinks it's lazy or antisocial. You just say, I've learned that rest and unstructured time are part of how I stay mentally healthy. Second one, practice saying no without guilt or explanation. So maybe a friend invites you over for an event you're not up for. Instead of over-explaining, you say, thanks so much for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass this time. So you don't apologize, you don't make excuses, you trust that your no is valid, and that's enough. And number 3, create space in order to hear your own voice again. So maybe spend 20 quiet minutes in the morning without your phone or TV, just meditating or sipping tea and thinking about things. You begin noticing what you want before everyone else's opinions start flooding in. You say to yourself, in that silence, I started hearing myself again, and I actually had something to say. And my last one, which I'm a strong believer in, and that's why I write about these things, is journaling. Strong belief in journaling. Get your thoughts out on paper or even on a computer document. And so let's think about the following questions. So this week, start to think about where in your life you're actually feeling free and where do you feel stuck. That's your starting point. So here are a couple questions you can write down. Where in my life do I feel truly independent? Where do I feel controlled or afraid to be myself? Where do I feel like I might be shrinking? And what would I do if I actually trusted myself fully? Again, where in my life do I feel truly independent and free? And where do I still feel controlled and afraid to be myself? And then what would I do if I fully trusted myself? So I hope you've gotten something out of this lesson today on independence, and that you can work on these exercises. And if you feel like share them, write down in the comments below what you've learned about yourself or what you feel your next step might be. I'd love to hear from you there or at the Self-Help FAQ Facebook page. And all the links are below how you can reach me or how you can share what you're learning. And I hope to see you again next week, when we'll delve even deeper in independence and nurturing yourself. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.